Right, so next job is to get the chain on, which is a DID 530 VX heavy duty. So oh, stay where you're put. Feed it through, and the front sprocket. Back out. Wow, top notch. That's the one I got for my Gsxr 1250. I had to take a few links out. That was only after I discovered, being very new to the world of fitting chains, it was only after I discovered that I'd linked it together and it was about 3 links too long. So I had to undo it, which means breaking off the brand new link and taking out I think it was about 3 links, and rejoining it with another newly bought connecting link. Live and learn and all that. Right, so here's the connecting link. So you want to smear of grease both ends for the new X rings to sit on, which are these, your washers, and then a little bit of a smear on the top of them, and then bring the chain together, which isn't the easiest of things, then everything's coated in fresh grease. There's my connecting link on there. So you want globs of grease, like that. More X-rings, like that. More gunk, like that. Like that. And then the connecting link, which before I made it all dirty, actually says, you see that? 530 VX, which would be nice facing out, wouldn't it? Be lovely. Right, so now we need the tools. I think that's it. And then that one sits on the back of the link, and then you wind this one in, which pushes that together. And what you don't want to do is overly crush it, because obviously it won't like that, and you'll over crush the washers, which won't give you the longevity that you want from your chain. It'll crush the washers and it'll just make a stiff point. So now we want a 14mm spanner, which I've probably left around here. Or was it 12? No, it's 14. Right, just going to double check that Got a nice bit of lip on each one showing. Okay. Digital calipers have decided they're not working. There you go. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you working? Just seems like everything today is... Every job is leading on to another job. Right, so 0 that. So factory one is 20.6 and this one is 21. So on a 0.4 of crushing. 0.4 of crushing. Let's give that another go. Get off of there. Thank you. So factory one was 20.6. R1 is 20.5. Come on, make your mind up. 20.55. So about 0.5 in it, 0.05 in it. So I think that might be close enough. So now we know that's on there to the factory setting, the same as, or near as, damn it, to the factory setting. So we're not overly crushing the X washers, so they're still doing the job. So the next part of the job is to crush these heads down. So I don't really know what I'm doing with this. I don't really know what I'm doing with anything. Doesn't bloody stop me though, I'll tell you that. Don't stop me. Don't stop me now. Right, so what we want is drop that on the floor. No, we don't. That's the tip, and you possibly can't see that, but the top has like a little nipple. Little nipple sticking up, and as that is crushed into that, it splays it out, mushrooms it. So we stick that through there. It's almost like there's something in there. Right, so just got back from the Ardingly bike show. Yesterday I was in the process of riveting the chain on, and my Sealy chain riveter snapped off right at the head there, right at the head. So that should be attached to that, which is the outer bolt, but it's not, because it snapped off. So I was up the Ardingly show and I bought a Bergen chain breaker and riveting tool, which is meant to do up to a 530 chain, which is a similar setup to the Sealy, which, yes, I'm going to try out today and hopefully get somewhere. I don't really hold out much hope for it, being it was 15 quid. But if it does the job for 15 quid, it certainly shows. This one was heavy duty, or advertised as heavy duty, high level, top quality motor product. It was meant to be the heavy duty one, and obviously is no good. So that needs thrown away because I've had that too long. And the Sealy one, again, good for up to 530 chains. I actually bought this one to do the Gsxr 600, Big Frank, to put his new chain on. So previous to today, that's been used once. So that isn't very impressive at all. It is looking like a similar robustness as the Sealy one. So it might be good for one chain. Give this a go, I suppose. I'll put the riveter in there. There we go. And then we need an anvil. Anvil on the back of the pin to stop the pin getting pushed through. And then wind the front down. Like that. With a 14mm spanner. And that probably wasn't enough. So to double check, because my eyesight's not brilliant. So the untouched one is about 545. That one's already at 550. So, and the ones from the manufacturer are 5.7. So we need to crack that in a bit more. Alright, let's try that. So that was 545, and that is now 573. And that's a factory one, that's about 570. There you go, 15 quid. The Sealy one was 40 quid, I think. I was definitely warned about Sealy products from blokes at work, and it was more because the first time I used it, it was successful. And you think, yeah, bargain. And obviously with 3 bikes, well, the amount of bikes I have had over the years, I'm going to be doing a few chains and sprockets. So I need something that's going to be a bit more reliable. See where that's got to. Standard ones are about 570. Well, the factory ones are about 570. 570. So yeah, mine are about, the ones I've done about 5.8. The ones done by the factory about 577. So that's that. That is a riveted chain. Riveting stuff. So I've adjusted them both out. They're on just on the start of the 6th mark either side. So now, as per normal, I'm going to jam a spanner in there to keep the tension up while I tighten the axle nut up. Alright, that's that pinched. Take that out, recheck the chain, Nice. Nice. What's that? About 20 mil, 25 mil, something like that. 24.8 millimeters, that is. Hang on a minute. No. 24.9 millimeters. So, next, might as well torque that up. 100 Newton meters. So that's the axle torqued up. So now we need to do the torque arm. Right, so got to torque up the torque arm. The brake's working good. And we want 14 on the back. And 14 mil spanner, 14 mil socket. So yeah, 34 Newton meters on this one. There you go. $34 on the back, and it's 28 Newton meters on the front one, which is slightly smaller. I think that's a 12 on the front. Right, there we go. So 28 Newton meters on the front one, the one nearest the front, and 34 on the rear. So that's the torque arm done. That's this side done. Right, so now we've got the back wheel in place and the chain in place and all the rest of it. We can stick something in the wheel to stop the sprocket turning, so we can actually get some tension on it. Right. So that's it, just nipped. Consult the Bible and find out what the torque setting is. Front sprocket nut is 115 Newton meters. Speed sensor rotor bolt is 23 Newton meters. Right, so 115 on the torque wrench. There we go, 115 Newton meters. And then the Allen bolt for the speed sensor wants to be, what was it, 23? If you're wedging something in the wheel to stop the wheel and ultimately the front sprocket turning while you're doing it up, then just make sure that you're not affecting the brake lines and all the rest of it. And you don't want to be doing that, that's for sure. And don't use something that is stronger than everything else. That's why I use a bit of wood, because the first thing that's going to give at the back there is going to be the wood, not my bike spoke, not my swing arm, but the bit of wood. Right, now I need a fitting to put me Allen key in there. 23 Newton meters. That's not so good. Fuck you. Well, need another speed sensor, because that is no good. It wasn't anywhere near 23. So that stops play. Right, my new speed sensor rotor, or what was it listed as? But there's some people calling them toner wheels. Didn't really understand that one. But anyway, there it is, and it's arrived, and it's not cracked and shitty like the last one. So let's try again. Try not to break it this time. I sounded all triumphant then. Right, so 23 Newton meters. 23 Newton meters with a little bit of copper slip on the threads. So now I can start putting on the cover. Right, so now to do the cover, I'll give these clutch cable threads a bit of a clean. Hopefully they'll go back in a lot smoother than they came out. That's a bit better. A little bit of copper slip on. Oh yeah, that goes in a bit better. Said the actress to the bishop. So you've got the nipple on the end and a slot in the top there. So you have to pull the nipple lower than the slot, push the cable through the slot, and then bring the nipple back up so the top of the nipple is hanging out the top. And that's a lot of times to say nipple without giggling, so let's just have one giggle at the word nipple. Oh dear, I shouldn't have come straight home on an empty stomach and started drinking. But I did, so it's sort off. Right, now need to push this tab back in, which stops the cable being able to come out. So I'll just bend that back in. This was the main problem with the ABBA stand. Let's see if I can wang that around. Don't want that up there, I want it up there. That's a bit better. And then we want to make sure we're lining up on that clutch pin. Right, so yeah, I kicked the bolts everywhere, but I did do a photo of how the bolts were, which has come in handy. So the adjuster's right back in, so we need to make sure that's straight with the cable gap in the brake lever. There we go. So you put the nipple in the hole in the lever itself, take the cable, put the cable into the sleeve, and if need to, just rest it on the edge of the adjuster, the metal section of the cable, just rest it on the adjuster and then pull the brake in, the clutch in, and while letting it out, pull back on the cable, and it just releases some more slack so you can get the cable up and into the adjuster. And adjust this out a bit, and then just make sure when you've finished adjusting it, you haven't, see there's a bit of feeling there already, when you finish adjusting it, just make sure you haven't left the slot in the adjuster in line with your lever, because then it could undo itself. Very unlikely, but could. So now I've got the cable on up there, I can take some of the adjustment out of it down here. So it's 10mm, the adjuster's 10mm and the lock nut is 12. And just make sure you've got your clutch cable located There you go. In the nut properly, or else you'll be doing a false adjustment and it won't seat right, and you'll have problems down the line and blah blah blah. So I'll give that a little bit, and then as I wind it out, I'll just check the lever to see if I've got any movement on the lever, because it was there wasn't much adjustment taken out of this bottom adjuster. It was all done on the lever. So I'll take a bit more on this adjuster, and then that will leave me more adjustment at the lever. Right, so before it starts activating, I've got about that much movement at the moment. So I'll take the rest of it up on the lever. So there's nothing there, and then you can feel the pressure to actually release it. I'll take a bit more for that. So I've got, that's before anything is taken up. Let's take a little bit more. That's better. So there's nothing there for about 7.43 millimeters, and then we've got clutch. So that'll do at the moment. While I'm under it, I'll feed through the speed cable, which then comes through and plugs back into its socket without a reassuring click. And you've got this like a ratchet clip that's through there. Make sure it's not rubbing on anything. Right, so that's all you've got to do under the tank. So you've got the little clip around the cable, and obviously it's plugged into its socket again, and that's all we need to do underneath the tank. So we get the torch out, bonnet release catch off. So now I'm fairly happy with the clutch adjustment. I'll pinch these up. As I say, these are just getting nipped, and then keep an eye on them, because I couldn't find anywhere in the Haynes manual where it gave me a torque setting for the sprocket cover. There you go, no need to lean on them too much. But that is pretty much it. Need to nip up the lock nut on the adjusters and fix the tank down. Good enough. And then we just want the tube of the seat, which the two lugs clip in the back there first. And then the front comes down, which go in the side there. There you go, all nipped up. Pile of tools to put away. Get it off the stand and make sure it's going in and out of gear all right. And then that was a long job. As I say, I went to do the chain and sprockets and found the torque arm the other side seized, so I had to do that, unseize that and mess that about. Then the bearings in the wheel were shot, so I had to get the bearings and get them fitted. And then the speed sensor rotor, or toner wheel, or whatever you want to call it, that broke. That was badly cracked and horrible. That broke, so that had to wait for that to turn up and change that. And I think that's the catalogue. Oh, I don't know what else I might do. I might put the gear linkage back on. Right, before I tighten that right up, I'm going to get it off the stand and make sure that it's definitely in the right place. Start it up and hold on to the brakes tightly and see if it will go into gear. Best way to check the clutch? In the shed with the bike running with all the doors shut. Excellent.